Okay. Well, hi everyone. I'm Charlotte. I'm Miss Personality Canada 2023-24. I'm so excited to be giving this workshop today. I met a couple of you at in orientation, which was so fun. So now I'm going to be talking all about platform development and growth. We're going to touch on social media, personal branding, creating a platform, growing a platform. We're going to cover all of our bases. And for those of you who are new, who are just getting into pageantry and personality pageants, this is going to be right down to the basics to really help you. If it would let me go to the next slide. Okay, there we go. Awesome. So my credentials, as you guys know, I am the reigning Miss Personality Canada. I also held a provincial title. I was Miss Queen Alberta 22-23, and I just crowned the new Miss Queen Alberta about a month ago. I have a combined over 11,000 followers on TikTok and Instagram. I won the Miss Social Media Award at Nationals this summer, and I've raised over $1,000 for mental health and held various successful fundraising events. So I'm pretty established with my platform, and I've done a lot of work and learned a lot throughout my years and my titles that I'll be sharing with you guys today.
Hey Charlotte, it doesn't look like it's moving with your slide. We still see the platform development and growth.
Re oh, on my end it's changing. Here, um I'll try stopping sharing my screen and starting again, maybe.
Yeah, no worries.
That's weird. On my end it's showing new slides. Okay, let's try again. Okay. Is it showing the next slide?
Yes.
Okay, yay. Well, these are the credentials I just talked about. So you guys are up to date on this, and we'll keep going right along. So social media and pageantry. Social media is 10% of your score. Hopefully you all know that, but it's way more than that. It's a chance to make a community, make meaningful connections. It's a really powerful tool for finding sponsorships and for building your platform. And the main thing you can think about when it comes to social media is you're showing the organization how you can enhance their organization and their mission as a title holder. So during your time as a delegate, you're already showing the skills you have, your ambition, your drive, and exactly what you will bring as a title holder. So creating a brand, creating a consistent personal brand is so important, especially when you're competing against 20, 30, 40 other girls for this title. Finding consistency in a way to stick out in a way they know that that's you is so, so vital. So something to think about when maintaining personal brand is creating consistency across your platform. So using the same colors, using the same fonts, maintaining a beautiful aesthetic is really important. So I've put some photos in. You can see my sponsorship package. There's a poster from a fundraiser I've done, some shots of my Instagram, my TikTok, some photo shoots, as well as a shot from my website. And you can see they all have consistent colors and branding, and you can all see that they came from me. And something I like to think about when it comes to personal branding is if my face wasn't on it, if my face and name were taken off, could you still tell it's me? Does it still scream Charlotte? Another thing to think about is finding a niche. And this is kind of a buzzword that you might have heard before, and it can be a bit confusing, but finding what your followers can expect from you. So for me, I stick to university, pageantry, lifestyle. And it doesn't mean that you have to stick to only those things and you can't share more, but find ways to incorporate it into your current niche so that your followers are invested in your journey and they know what to expect. So let's say I wanted to share a story that completely unrelated. Maybe it's about sports. I can do that while doing a get ready with me to kind of tie into what I already do. But I never want niche to be something that holds you back, but more so ways to find creativity and incorporation. And connecting your platform to your personal brand will be really important for all of you as pageant girls. Not only are you establishing your own personal brand for you, but you're connecting yourself to a platform, to your cause, to your advocacy that is most of the time going to have its own separate platform. So, like its own separate home aside from your social media. I also recommend creating a logo. So I've just put my personal logo there at the bottom as an example, and it's something really nice that you can put onto everything you work on, that just signs your name and kind of right there in that snapshot gives a sense of your personal brand.
So,
So
someone raised a hand, and I think there's a couple questions. So whoever asked, please go ahead. I
Are
s-
you referring to my question or another?
yes, yourself and one other person. So please go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I want to know, is there a limit on what we can use to build our brand? I mean, is there colors we cannot use? Or
I I would suggest sticking to three main colors, and you should even know the specific hex code. So if you have, like, I'll go back to my last slide here. So you can see that shade of pink that's consistent. I know that specific code to use that shade of pink. So I do recommend sticking to three. Too many and it becomes inconsistent and hard to follow. But if you have three main colors that go together and are very cohesive, that's a really great place to start.
thank
So
you very much.
yeah, of course. And so, like my color's pink, but then I know that specific shade of pink as well. So, whatever the color is that you choose, know the specific shade so you can apply that across platforms. Are there any other questions right now?
Someone asked what apps do you use for like your content creation and things like that.
Yeah, we're gonna get there in just a couple slides. Perfect. Okay, so your online presence. Uh, I like to think of it in three section. So Instagram is your home base. It's where you likely have most of the people you know in real life, and most of your family and friends are already following you on Instagram. It is a photo platform, even though it's kind of developed further than that, but it's still at its core a photo platform. So Instagram should be where everybody can come and find everything else you're doing. So your links, your fundraisers, your platform, that should be all on your home base of your Instagram. Your TikTok can really be a key to growth. So their algorithm changes really fast. There's a lot of trends. It's video content, so it's a really great place to show your personality and let your followers get to know you more deeply than just from a photo and a caption. Hearing your voice and your words is going to be so impactful when you're creating a connection to your followers and bringing more people into your journey. So TikTok is really, really great for growth and more. So your more is where your platform comes in. So if you have blogs, an Instagram page, a website, a newsletter, if you're doing a specific fundraising initiative, your email contact, and all your other social medias, those are your more, and they should be accessible from your Instagram home base. So that's kind of where everybody can come and find everything else you're doing. Yeah, Christina.
I don't know if it's because English not my main language, but I'm not sure if I understand that well. Is Instagram should be our first platform, or TikTok is okay as well?
I would recommend using both, but using Instagram as your most consistent, most up-to-date platform. And that is where I would put all of my main initiatives. And TikTok is more where I would focus on day to day, on trends, on more like snapshots of life. And Instagram would be your overview and your deeper content.
Okay, so if I have more followers on TikTok, I should give more time on my Instagram.
I think having it typically will be that way where you do have more followers on your TikTok, just the way the algorithm works and its growth. But I would always have your Instagram accessible from your TikTok. And every once in a while in your TikTok, you can mention, I have this on my Instagram and direct your followers there so that they follow you across the board.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Are there any questions in the chat before we move along?
I don't see anything else.
Perfect. Okay. So this is kind of a fun slide. So I've included a ton of kind of lifestyle influencers, a couple pageant influencers there at the bottom. We even have our own Tori Ginter, who was in your shoes 1 year ago and is our Miss Personality Southern Alberta and also a full-time influencer on there. So I want everyone to think about just personally why you hit follow. who are your favorite influencers? What content do you watch? What keeps you coming back to their page? And what are those qualities that you really seek when finding somebody to follow and to invest in their journey? Okay, so here are the apps I know a lot of people were wondering about. So Instagram is really focused on aesthetics. So presets are a big thing. I would definitely recommend finding a preset. And for anyone who doesn't know what a preset is, it's like a set of edits that you can apply to every photo. You can find them for free on certain websites. You can find them, you can buy them from your influencers that you like. So if you have a certain feed that you like, a lot of the times they'll sell the preset that they use. You can find them on Etsy. There's really a lot of ways to find them. A lot of the time you can even DM us page if you love their aesthetic and say, hey, do you have a preset that you're using? And I've had a lot of success with that in the past. And Lightroom, that blue app at the bottom, is what I use to edit my photos. So I add the same preset to every photo I use and alter it a little bit. And that's what's so great about Lightroom, because depending on the lighting and the setting of your photo, it won't always be perfect, but it will be close to. And sometimes you can go in and change the lighting. Something I do a lot is change the orange color specifically, because sometimes it will make me look a little too orange, and I'll turn that down. But it's a really great way to enhance your photos and create consistency in your feed, because they all have those same sets of edits. That really connects to planning your feed. So I have the app Unum at the bottom. It's free. I believe you can plan up to 8 photos for free, and then they have a paid version as well. I personally use the free version. It's really great. You can see how you'd like to arrange your photos before you post them. And the more comfortable you get with social media, the more you'll start to find your personal taste of what you like. So I try to space out a selfie with a group photo with maybe a landscape or a photo of something that I'm not in, and you'll find the sense of what you like. I definitely recommend spacing out the look of your photos and the orientation. So if you have one that's really close to your face, maybe the next one is your full body. You can get a lot of inspiration from this on Pinterest, which is why I put Pinterest at the bottom. It's a really great place to find inspiration for posing, for different feed ideas, different aesthetics. You can find so much inspiration to put your own personal twist on. I also want to really emphasize using your pinned posts. So you get 3 pinned posts that will stay at the top of your Instagram, and you want to use those really effectively. So what are the 3 most important things you want everybody to know right away when they come to your page? I would guess your platform is probably up there. If you have a title that you're proud of, which many of you will in just a short time, and use that to say something unique about you right when somebody comes to your page. Your bio and your highlights are also really powerful. So your name should be in your Instagram handle and in your Instagram name slot they give you. You can also include your city or your title in that name slot. That is what makes you searchable. So having something searchable in that space is really important. So even if your name is your handle, you also want your name in that, because that's what they're using for the search algorithm. Use your word count really effectively. So use that to demonstrate the most important things to you. I put my, I think I've changed it a little bit since the screenshot, but my bio's on there. So you can see I have my name, my city, both the titles I've held, that I'm a university student, and then I have a link to my platform right there. So you also want to use your links really effectively. I recommend using a link tree or something of the sort to include all your links in one-stop shop. And just make your highlight covers aesthetic and also organized. Have some sort of name or image on your highlight so people know what they're clicking on. It's less likely that they'll take the time to go look at the things you've posted if they don't know what they're looking at. So whether it's like a crown emoji for your pageant or PPCA, something that clearly says this is what this highlight is. And stories. Stories are really great to maintain consistency. I really recommend them for your day-to-day things and to use those interactive features. Give your followers something to do, something, let them share. They really do want to interact with you. And they have a lot of fun using those interactive features like the poll, like the slider, asking questions. That is such a fun one to use, to just get on there, make a video message, and then answer some questions. And you can also use your stories to direct to other things you're important. So maybe I made a blog post that day. I'll make an Instagram story with the link right there for people to be directed straight to that blog post. TikTok. So I know TikTok can be a bit of a nerve-wracking place to get started because you do have to put yourself on video and get comfortable talking to the camera. But I really do recommend talking. It's a bit nerve-wracking at first, and you do have to kind of overcome that barrier of talking to the camera and being alone in your room talking. It just takes practice, and the only way to get better is to try. So talk while doing something too. Give something interesting for your audience to watch while you share whatever it is that's important. So that can be doing your makeup, maybe you're preparing food, something that's not too loud. Remember, you don't want to drown out your voice with the action, but give something for them to watch while they listen, as well as be concise. So cut out any awkward pauses. If you take a breath to think while you're recording, that's totally fine, but you can go back in and cut it out. Definitely keep it concise. The way TikTok works, think about it yourself when you're scrolling. If there's a big pause, you're probably going to scroll to the next video. So try and cut those out and keep your videos concise with some hook at the beginnings they want to keep watching. Using audio, so use those trending audios. A lot of the time they're really fun, really easy. Put your own twist on it, connect it to you. I like to make a lot of the audios unique to pageantry and to personality pageants. So I'll add some kind of twist to the trend to connect it to that. These are really, really great way to get traction and to get those viral moments and gain that following that you're using to make your positive impact. And voiceovers. So the thing I love about voiceovers is they can turn anything you already have in your camera roll into quality content. So you can put clips that you already have, you can create tutorials, all of you have a skill. I know you all have some skill that you could share and you could voice over. That's the great thing about TikTok and video content is the more you just get in the habit of recording things, the more you can turn that into content. Are there any questions before we move on to the next slide?
Yeah, I do have a question. What apps can you use to cut out great parts?
So I personally just like to edit straight in the TikTok app as well as for Reels. They do have a lot of great editing features and it just kind of removes that extra step of importing and exporting things. Another great app is Canva, or sorry, not Canva, CapCut. CapCut's really great for editing videos and making voiceovers as well. But honestly, TikTok has a lot of great features built right into it, so don't feel pressure to purchase another app. I have heard good things about Splice. I haven't personally used it, but that's one you could check out for sure. Yeah, any more questions or anything in the chat?
I don't believe so.
Okay, perfect. We'll keep going.
Actually, Charlotte, there was one question. It was like, do you use your phone only, or do you have specific equipment or like lighting?
At the moment, I use my phone and I do have a couple of tripods. Honestly, I got them at the dollar store. I think they were about $4 each. Amazon is another great place where you can get affordable lighting but as for recording, I do just use my phone. There are settings, so I'll do a quick little demo. If you open up your camera and go to video, up in this corner, I don't know how clear it is, but up in that corner, when you open up your video, it'll say HD and 30. If you tap that to change it to 4K and to 60, that'll up your quality a little bit when it comes to video content, as well as just making sure you're in a well-lit area. So natural lighting is honestly really great a lot of the time if you happen to be filming in the daytime, just setting yourself up by a window. There's been moments where I've totally just stacked up books and stacked up different things to prop my phone up. That's totally okay. Be creative with it and don't let not having fancy equipment hold you back at all. If you do have a fancy camera, that's amazing. Definitely use it. But your iPhone or whichever smartphone you have can totally do so much. And yeah, honestly, I've had great finds at the dollar store for like random tripods and things, and those work just great too. Okay, so we'll jump into success on TikTok. I've kind of broken it up into 5 different categories. Keeping up with the trends is a really huge one. The trends really do cycle quickly on TikTok. So when you see one, I like to keep a running list in my notes app of trends I've seen, things I like to film. Use that save button. TikTok has a save button. Save things and you can go back and film them when you're ready to film. Find your niche. So again, what content do you make? What do you feel passionate about? Do you like sharing makeup tutorials? Do you like sharing makeup tips? Do you like sharing cooking tips? There's so many different niches. So find something that you feel passionate about, that you enjoy filming, you enjoy talking about, and bring that to your platform. You don't have to have your personal social media center around pageantry, but it's something that you can build into the niche that you like or the things you're already passionate about. And provide values. That is a huge one. You want to make sure when you're creating content, you're bringing value to your followers, to your viewers. So what can they learn? What are you teaching them? What can they gain by following your page rather than the next page? Make sure you're providing some kind of unique value. All of you are so unique and have amazing skills and are doing amazing things. Share those with your audience. They know, oh my gosh, I just want to follow her. I want to know what's coming next. I like to give recommendations on TikTok. That's a great thing to do. It's usually super easy. We all have a lot of products or tips and tricks that we like and we use in our daily life. So hop on and record a quick video and share that with your followers. And share your unique perspective. Even if it feels like maybe a certain topic has already been talked about over and over and over, everybody has a unique take, and you would be so surprised how many people are curious to know your thoughts and what you think. So if something's trending or something's happening, share what you think, and that's totally great content. The TikTok algorithm depends on engagement. So how many people are liking, how many are following, how long are they watching your videos? You want to really think how you can keep that high audience retention. And one of the things that will really help with that is making your video concise and on topic. So I know a ton of people have great ideas, but split them up into different videos. If you're making a video about makeup, make that video only about makeup. If your next video is about pageantry, make that video about pageantry. You can tie in other things, but try not to jump around too crazy in one video. Just make that one concise and then make another one with your next idea. As well as, like I mentioned, cut out those gaps and any lulls in your videos, try and make them flow really nicely and not have too many dead zones. You don't want people to have a chance to scroll. So creating video content, the number one thing will always be to just hit record. I know we're all so self-critical of ourselves, and when we watch those videos back, it's so easy to find maybe something we don't love or we don't want to listen to our own voice, but just practice, just hit record, get in front of the camera. It doesn't always have to be posted, but just getting in that habit and practicing that skill is really, really important. So like I mentioned, people love your unique perspective. Definitely share your thoughts on things. Share your story. You are the only one who's experienced your story in your life. Share that. Share what you've learned. Share something funny that happened. Basically, anything can become content once you start framing things in that mindset. Your followers do really want to get to know you. They're following you for a reason. Even your friends and family, they love seeing content, seeing what you're up to, watching you take on a new challenge. It's really fun for them. And then, like I mentioned, keep a running list of ideas. Something that comes up on the fly, just put it in that note on your phone or in your notepad and come back to it. It's too overwhelming to film everything the second it pops into our head. But if you have that list of ideas, when you do sit down to film, you can do 4 or 5 in a row, and you're not sitting thinking, oh my gosh, what do I film? What do I film? Because you've already made that list and you're good to go. So this will always be my social media holy grail. What would I want to see? I like to think after I record a video, I sit and I watch it and I think, would I watch this video to the end if I didn't know me? And this can really help guide your content. It's so valuable to think, okay, is this interesting? Would I watch to the end? Would somebody who doesn't know me watch to the end? Would I follow this? And not every piece of content has to be incredible. You can definitely post fun things. Like I definitely post lip syncs and things like that for fun. It is fun. Your social media is always supposed to be fun. It's your page. And try to incorporate things that do bring value to your followers and let them get to know you personally. So I recommend keeping this question kind of in the back of your head when you're filming or when you're watching back your videos to think how you can improve. Okay, so using social media to gain sponsorship and collaborations. Collaborations will tie very, very well into your platform. So you need to show brands and businesses you're approaching the value that you bring. You don't necessarily have to have a lot of followers, but you have to be consistent. You do have to have an audience that trusts you. So even if that audience is only 200 followers, these 200 followers, they know you because you've been posting content, you've been getting to know them. You need to show them that you have an audience to share their products and their business with. You also need to demonstrate your dedication. So if you've only made one post in the last 8 months, they might not see the value in having you promote their brand or their business. But if you're posting, twice a week, you're staying up to date, you're sharing all the new things in your life, they're a lot more likely to want to work with you. You can also offer to create content for brands. So once you've gained that skill of making content and you've really developed it, then you can bring that into your sponsorships. You can approach them and say, I'm looking for support for my national pageant or my provincial pageant. I'd love in exchange for your support with a monetary support or maybe a supply of product to create some content for your business and to support your business on my personal pages. I've put a snapshot of my sponsorship proposal. It is about a 3-page proposal. You can see it on my website if you'd like some inspiration. Definitely put something like this together to show brands, show them some work you've done before, show them some proposed collaborations, some ideas, really show how dedicated you are, how excited you are in creating a mutually beneficial collaboration. So you need to show the brand what you're going to do for them and what you'd like them to do for you. And always be genuine. You want to be supporting brands and businesses on your social media that you do believe in. You do want to maintain that trust with your followers because it's a lot harder to rebuild once it's gone. Are there any questions, especially about sponsorships, that I can answer?
I don't see any.
Okay, for sure. We'll keep going. Okay, so creating an impactful platform. I know this is where a lot of people might be encountering this for the first time. The past couple months might have been the first time you ever heard the word platform and you have no idea where to start. So we'll jump right into it. So I'll talk about my platform for a minute. My platform is Charlotte's Women's Health Hub. So I advocate for women's health, and I created a blog where I share my own experiences. I highlight other women's experiences. I get professionals to talk about it. I also create printables. So I create worksheets and resources that are free to download on my blog. So my purpose with my platform is to advocate and make change in women's health specifically. So choosing a platform, I'm hoping that you all know what a platform is. If anybody's still unclear on what a platform is, please let me know now or send a private message or something, and we can do another minute or two chat about it. But I do feel like most of you were at orientation and have a good idea. Choosing a platform is really important to pick something that genuinely matters to you. So I put a couple examples on the side. Education, mental health, sustainability, animal welfare. Those are just 4 examples. There's so many different platforms out there. So what matters to you? What do you feel connected to? And your platform doesn't necessarily have to be like deep. I know that's something that can be a bit confusing, but it doesn't need to have a really deep root. It just has to be something you do feel passionate about. And would you be pursuing this platform if it wasn't for a crown? So is it something you feel strongly enough that when you're done pageantry or if you weren't doing this, you would still be making a change, still wanting to talk about this, still passionate about it? That's a really important thing to think of. Your platform should be so much bigger than just pageantry and just your crown. It should be something that's really a driving force in your life. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a personal connection. It can be someone in your family, somebody that you know, something that's impacted your life in some way, even if it's not direct. Those are just some things to keep in mind when you're picking your platform. And something to think about too is you can evolve your platform as you grow to grow with you. Just make sure that it follows a central theme. So turning passion into platform, like I said, your passion is your driving force. Try to be specific. So rather than mental health for who? Mental health in what capacity? If it's too broad, it can be really difficult to set goals and to actually jump into it. Know your audience. So who do you want to impact? Do you want to impact youth? Are you passionate about helping seniors? Are you passionate about helping people your age, young adults? Whatever it be, try to know your audience and know who you're trying to impact. And then decide how you will make that impact. Do you want to educate people? Do you want to tell stories? Do you want to fundraise? Do you want to create resources yourself? Do you want to spread awareness? And a lot of these can go hand in hand and can be built into each other. But what do you want the core of your platform to be? So that's where, for me, it's not only sharing my story and uplifting other women's stories, it's creating resources that people can access. And what is your goal? What change do you want to make? If you could make any change in the world tomorrow, what would it be? What is your end goal in doing this advocacy and making this change and doing the work you're doing with your platform? That's something really important to think about. So like I said, it's more than just a score. It's more than a crown. It's your driving force in your pursuit of positive impact. So finding the right format. I know there was a couple questions about this at orientation as well. There's so many different formats to have your platform. I do recommend having something that's aside from your personal social medias. So like currently my blog doesn't have an Instagram page, but it does have its own website. It has its own place where it lives that's separate from my personal social medias, but still interconnected. So some ideas that title holders have done in the past is a social media account, a website, a blog, a series of workshops, and so many more. There's so many unique ideas. You can totally come up with something that's never been seen before. I'll shout out Pani, our Miss Teen Personality Canada, who created a newsletter, which I thought was so creative. I've never seen anyone do that, and I loved it. Your platform should also be very clear on where it can be found and is it accessible. So are people able to find your platform? Does it make sense for what your platform is? So if your platform is educating youth or something to do with literacy, it would make sense to do a series of workshops, but it might not make sense to have a social media account that they can't access. But they can also be multiples. You can have a social media account and a website, but you should have one central place where your platform lives and where it can be accessed. Does that make sense? Are there any questions about that?
I guess I do have a question about that. Like, for example, your blog. How did you create that yourself, or did you go to somebody to help you create it, just out of curiosity?
So I created that myself. I did some research on different free, easy to use website creators online. I watched a lot of YouTube videos and just did a lot of research on my own and built it from the ground up. So your platform, it's going to take a lot of passion and a lot of drive to build it and to create something. But when you feel so passionate about making this change, it's all exciting work and all work that you should be really excited about to create that positive impact you're seeking. But yeah, a ton of this can be done for free. Don't feel like you have to hire a team or somebody to create this. It can definitely help. And if you have that at your disposal, of course, use it. But so much of it can be done on your own, finding resources, doing research, just like that. Okay, so making it unique. When it comes to platforms, we do have so many title holders making amazing change, and that's so inspiring. But you want to find something that sets you apart. Right now, you are a delegate, you are competing, and you want to find that thing that makes you unique. Find your spin, create something that doesn't already exist. So, whatever positive impact you're trying to make something new. So, for me, it was I had a blog. How could I make it different? And it was creating resources to go with the blog posts. Find something new, bring that new spin, and come from the heart. So for me, I knew I loved using worksheets. I knew I loved guided journals, and that was something that really helped me in my personal growth with mental health and women's health. So I thought, how can I bring that and impact other people positively? And I started creating my own resources, and it grew from there. So it is essential to find out what makes you stand out and what is special about the impact you want to make. So I do like to create a kind of one sentence purpose for my platform that I can connect back to in those times when I'm trying to grow, I'm trying to figure out, or I'm just connecting back to what is pushing me to work on this, what is pushing me to make this change. So I also put an example there of a poster of a fundraiser I did. So I love animals, especially dogs. I am like the biggest animal lover in the world. And even though my platform isn't necessarily connected to animals, I knew I wanted to find a way to bring them into my platform. So what I did was I partnered with Calls, which is a oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the word. They're wellness animals. They are wellness animals. So we partnered together and we did a fundraiser where half of the funds went to women's health and half of the funds supported Calls. And Calls is also very tied into mental health. They bring their wellness animals into universities, schools, sometimes hospitals, to support the mental health of those people by animal connection. So that was something I felt like I could really tie in another passion of mine into my platform in a way that made sense and could work towards that ultimate goal I had of making positive impact in women's health. So there's really a ton of ways where you can get creative and you can tie in many different passions and bring that into your main goal with your platform. Are there any questions about standing out or finding a unique spin? I know that it can be something that can be a bit difficult at first, but once you find that thing that you know you feel passionate about and you know makes you unique and makes your impact unique, it's really simple to keep tying it into what you're doing.
Charlotte, since you mentioned that you like dogs, so we can tie in something that we enjoyed. So let's say, for example, I really like jewelry. So I can kind of tie that in with my with my whole presentation and to a certain degree, correct?
Yeah, I would say like if you love jewelry and let's say for example, I'm not sure what your platform is, but like let's use an example, it's mental health. You could create like a friendship bracelet, or maybe you make a bracelet that has like a positive word on it. That could be something you tie in. It's really something where you can get creative and brainstorm and bounce ideas off of your friends and your family and those close to you, to really create something new and something never been done before. And it's a really fun process, but at first it can be, and there might be many iterations too. Like don't be scared if your first idea maybe isn't the one that you stick with, but it's something that you can grow off of to come up with more. Yeah, that was a
Thank
great
you.
question. Okay, so some key takeaways that I want you guys to think about is connecting with your cause. So make sure it's something you're passionate about beyond just one competition, beyond a crown. It's something that truly connects to your life and the positive impact you want to make. Think about what specific impact you want to make, who you want to affect, and what is your end goal in all the advocacy and work that you're doing. Being unique and standing out. So adding your own twist, whatever it is you're pursuing, create something new, something that doesn't already exist. Um, and then, of course, pull in on honesty and authenticity. Your experience and your story are so powerful, and amplifying your impact. So use your personal social media. A lot of the tips that I shared today for social media can be applied to your personal social medias and your platform. Same with that personal branding aspect. Apply it to your personal branding and your platform and really try to interconnect them some way and make sure that they have a nice flow. So for me, I love pink. So I tied pink into my platform branding and my personal branding. And use social media to keep people up to date and share what you're doing on a daily basis. Daily, maybe not daily necessarily, but try to keep those life updates coming, the progress you're having with your platform. Stay consistent on your social medias. Remind yourself. And I know a barrier a lot of people feel is fear of judgment, but I really want to encourage you all. You are all showing up, you're putting the work in. Share that with the world. You're putting work in to make a positive impact. You're doing something really unique and interesting. And that will always be the most powerful thing in the world. You'll also be so surprised how many people are interested and how many people want to follow your journey. I know that when I was competing for Miss Clean Alberta, I got messages from some girls I hadn't talked to in years who I maybe did one volleyball camp with in the 10th grade, who were following me, who said, "This is so interesting. We had so much fun following this." So you'll be surprised the amount of people you're impacting and the interest in your journey. So I've just put some of my social media challenges. These aren't official. These are just my challenges I would love to see you guys tackle. And if you do, please tag me. I would love to see them. Again, these aren't official, but they are a way to enhance your social media and to kind of bring your platform to life a little bit. So I would love to see a reel talking about your platform, a story amplifying your platform, especially if it links to something new. I would love to see that. And then just one thing, this is a really open-ended one thing that connects you to your platform. So maybe you put an Instagram post with a fun caption talking about your experience, really open-ended. I've put my social media there, and I do want to again just amplify that I am always open. You can always message me with questions, and I would love to answer them. For anyone looking for more one-on-one guided support, I am still offering mentoring. You can always reach out to me over Instagram or on my email, and I would love to connect with you there. And I think we have about 15 minutes, so I'll open it up for any questions.